Good afternoon. In March 1980, 123 oil workers died when a floating accommodation block, known as the Alexander Kielland, capsized in Norwegian waters in the North Sea. 23 of those who perished were from Great Britain, including 6 from West Cumbria, of which 5 were from the town of Cleatormore. 43 years on, the families of those involved, many of them still struggling with grief and loss, are continuing to demand answers as to exactly what happened that night. Later this month, they'll travel to Norway to continue their campaign, as Mark McAlinden reports.
Already 38 bodies have been found, and hope is fading for 100 men still missing.
One of the men missing that night was Cleatormore man Keith Hunter, whose body has never been found. Fenced in beside the town hall is the only memorial to Keith and 4 others, a poignant place for one of his sons, Wayne.
It's like a headstone to us, obviously. We never retrieved our dad, so I go at least once a year. I definitely miss the father of my life.
A troubled adolescent, Wayne tried to bury the memories of what had happened, but just last year a meeting with Norwegian relatives of Kielland victims kindled a sense that he had to try to find justice.
I've had many sleepless nights, and I'm still having sleepless nights now. It's just wrong in so many ways. How there was no follow-up with families.
Despite a rescue operation, including the RAF, only 89 men survived. It's a tragedy that has echoed down through the generations. That experience of trauma is all too familiar for the man who's organised families to come together to fight for the full truth.
There was a study made in 2005 showing that 37% of the survivors still suffered from severe psychological damages.
Survivors and relatives dispute the findings of a 1980s inquiry into the disaster that was held behind closed doors. And the Kielland network has invited British families to Norway next week to increase the pressure.
It will also be helpful in making British politicians and parliamentarians more aware of what has been happening, and that the push for more answers will be stronger.
You're going to Norway next week to meet other families. What do you hope that trip brings?
Just answers, move on in life. But until then, no one will move on. The truth's massive. Everyone deserves the truth.
Mark McAlinden, BBC Look North, Cleatormore.